God damn. Thank you so much. I didn't. This blew up more than I ever thought. I thought this was getting like at least 700 views, maybe 200 at the highest. God damn, thank you guys. Thank you so much. But there is a follow-up video to this. But before I can start, I am a little sick under the weather. My wife got sick, so I'm gonna get sick. That's how life works. So it is what it is. And once again, thank you so much for reaching out. Thank you for your comments, good or bad. People saying Kratos, because I'm sorry I said that. I know I did. It's cool. It happens. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everybody that watched that video. I'm grateful for everybody that commented, that liked, that shared, whatever you did with this video. Thank you. But now let's get into why Kratos Redemption arc, if you really want to call it that, matters so much. Growing up with the God of War series and playing all the games, some of them on the PSP, I didn't really have a PSP like that, but whatever, was magical. It was great. It was fun. It was fantastic. And I understand why people say he's gotten soft, especially if that is your background. I seen what he can do. I seen how he did it. I was there. I played. I literally executed these button presses to kill these monsters and gods. But believe it or not, right? If you understand what true growth is as a character, as a man, right? Kratos was a bigger softie back then than he is today. And I'm going to explain it to you, right? I'm going to explain it to you. Kratos lost his temper too many times. Justifiably so. His fuel was his grief. His grief was the family he killed, was forced to kill, was finessed to killing by Ares. That's an important thing. His fuel for his rage was grief. So, saying that, I have to prove how Kratos was soft. Kratos didn't know how to control his emotion. He wasn't measured. He wasn't tempered. Remember when he told Atreus, you must temper your anger, temper your hate, temper it with some focus, some purpose. Don't let it control you. He let that rage control him. So much so that we know what happened. Everything in Greece died. Even the dead died. So it's important to know that right now what's happening with Kratos is that he's measured, right? He's measured twice, cut once. He doesn't want to kill people, but he will. He has no problems with that. He wants to not have to go down that path because he understands, at least right now, as far as we can see, as far as we can tell, he understands the value of a life. We see that very clearly with Freya. He understands Freya. He understands her grief. He understands what she's going through and what fuels her and why she keeps coming after him. Why she wouldn't stop. People say Kratos is weaker than he was back then. No. He's easy for him to kill her. Right? They're saying Kratos is weaker because he can take down giant hydras. But you forget that if you miss a QTE in any of the older games, especially against the Medusas, you die. Man, those Medusas were cheap back then, I swear to God. Back to Freya. We know, for a fact, without any shadow of a doubt, that Kratos can just kill her. And he doesn't want to do that for two reasons. One, she does not deserve to die. Even if she's trying to do her damnedest to kill her, he can just fend her off for literally years, it seems. Two, he doesn't want Atreus to lose her. She's important to him. She matters to him. So why would he kill something that matters to his child? This is what we call as a temper measure man. This is stoicism. He did the right thing by killing Balder. And then he took the consequences, which was Freya's rage, onto himself, and he bare it with grit. And it being Kratos, he never thought he'd have the day to make amends with her, to make peace with her. He never thought that she would be joining a fight with. Never thought that. Never. But he was just okay with having her come after him because he wronged her in a way, and he knows it. And all that leads to Kratos' redemption, right? This is a redemption arc if you want to talk about it, if you want to admit it, if you don't, right? This is a man truly understanding the weight of his sins, right? This could be therapy for some people. If you don't like it, then by all means, you can hate it. It's fine. I understand. But like I said in my last video, veterans need this. because if they're left to their devices, they usually don't end. It doesn't end well. It doesn't. Usually it doesn't. And rarely people from war get that. Rarely do they ever get that happy ending. War is an ugly thing, and it takes a piece of you and never gives it back, and you lose it. And Kratos lost that. And if you play Valhalla, oh, I love it. Oh God, it's so good. Go play Valhalla. Now, before I get into my example of why Kratos Redemption arc is important and why people care so much, I'm gonna use a different game for that. I just gotta say one thing before I get to that. For those who want Kratos to be less soft, as you say, quote unquote, right? I think he's more wise, right? I personally think he's more measured, more tempered. I'm not gonna say he mastered his emotions, but at least he has them under control, right? There's still a lot of grief in him. There's still a lot of problems with him. But for those people who want him to go back to how he was, and games to not tackle this part or this topic of Kratos, first, on the negative side, you're no better than Ares, right? I'm not saying you want his family to be dead, but you want the God of War. You want the machine of war that he was made to be, that he was bred to be, back. Let's be real. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. Why would any man want to go back to that? Cool. Secondly, I understand where you're coming from. You want the game character, you want Kratos, the main character, to actually stay as who he is. So my example is that you want him to be like Dante, where he has his sympathetic moments, but it doesn't dwell on it. He's like, I get it, I miss you, bro, but you got demons to kill. We can't cry about it. And I think that's what people really want. And they're calling him soft, and they're saying it's all this emotional crap and everything. They just don't know exactly where they want. They want it to be concise and to the point. So that's why I'm saying they want him to be more like Dante, where Dante quickly shows emotion and then wraps it up. He has a job to do. Alright, cool. Now, why is Kratos' redemption arc so important and why people resonated with it so much? Because we know what happens when we don't get that for the characters we love. The best and only example I need to be showing you for this, right, why redemption arc truly matter, is Joe from The Last of Us. When we play this game for the first time, the first Last of Us, he was a pivotal character. We loved him. We watched him grow, right? We watched him lose his child, grow into a hardened man through the world circumstances and what he does. And then we saw him found a daughter in Ellie. They became a family through their journey. Only for the end to be what it was, for him to have to give up that family for humanity. I understand why he said no. I understand why he did what he did. Was it right? No. Was it the best choice? Absolutely not. Let's be real. Once the world gets to that point, how you feel about your people around you shouldn't really matter. At this point, it just shouldn't matter. Like, save the world. But again, we understand that. We understand why he lied. We understand why he did what he did. We understand why he put bullets in so many people. They were innocents. He literally became a monster for his family. Ellie was his family. And he would be damned if he loses another daughter again. So when The Last of Us 2 came out, and Joe was savagely, justifiably so, but savagely, murked, that brought a lot of anger for people because we wanted that redemption arc. We wanted him to make amends for the things he'd done. We wanted to see how this man can make it better. Like, there's an important thing there. We had the expectation if the game ever had a 2, if Last of Us ever came out with a 2, Joe's would make amends. Joe's would try to do what's good for the world. Joe was trying to do the right thing. That's what I wanted him to see. I wanted him to have that. I think he earned that redemption arc, but to just have that completely stripped away, and then to have Ellie go through what she went through, to come out a worse person at the end, I can see why people truly hated this story. I understand. I felt like everything that was built up in the first game that could have just led to some beautiful outcome was gone and taken away. And maybe that's the point of Last of Us 2. Once the apocalypse happens and you cross some lines, you can never go back. True, fair, I get it. I understand. But Joe, being a beloved character, a veteran in his world who's made his mistakes and wants to just do right by his people, I can tell you right now, too many of us wanted to see his story end, at least at a positive light. And yet, We didn't get any of that. Seeing that, right? Seeing what happened to Joe in the Last of Us series is probably one of the biggest reasons why I believe that people so hardly push back on this Kratos' soft mentality. And I want to say one thing real quick, but we don't usually get redemption arcs in gaming at all. We really don't. We get the hero's journey, RPG style, right? We get people coming of age. We have the adventurous spirit, the one that just goes out, finds some ancient treasure, or even learn something about themselves or their friends around them, about people and stuff like that. We even get the person who's on a revenge story, but they were wrong, and they just go and get revenge to make peace with the things. You know what I'm saying? We get those stories a lot, but we don't get redemption arcs in gaming. And Kratos is a perfect example of that. This is why it matters. He's too hard to even open up. He's trying. He has a child. He cares. He has more important things than just slaying monsters. And yes, that was part of the games. That is what he did. But now he's a man. He was an angry teenager back then. An angry 27-year-old, whatever, 22-year-old. He just lashed out at the world. And literally the world crumbled beneath that rage of his. He had to learn to temper it. There is this comic of Kratos. It doesn't tell you how he got to, well, the North realm, but he's in between realms. He's walking around. He just showed up one day, right? It perfectly shows you how emotionally soft this man is. It perfectly shows you the baby, the angry baby that this man is in that comic, right? That is a soft Kratos. That is the baby we're talking about. Kratos is not that. He's grown. He's mature. He's a little more somber. He has to be. Don't forget the things this man's been through. He deserves to have some peace, even if it's for a little while. I know there's a new game coming along. I know there's going to be a new pantheon that he has to kill, or a new monster, or a new god. But for now, at least for now, let him have this moment. Damn, yo, but Valhalla though, guys, go play that. My voice is going right now. I'm losing it. Sorry about that. That's all I gotta say. Once again, thank you for all these views. Thank you for all these subscribers. This is for the recent influx of people. I'm trying to do more game topic videos instead of more reviews. I don't think my reviews are that good. Let me know if I'm tweaking on that. But thank you for staying this long. Thank you for everything. Thank you for reaching out. I told my buddy, my veteran buddy, about the last video, and he saw it, right? He saw it. He follows me. And dude, when I told you we went for a drink, that man just hugged me. He was like, thank you for saying what you did. Oh, man. I told him if he's still going to drop Rainbow Six Siege. He says no, not yet, but he's moving on slowly. I think that's what Kratos is doing as well. He's moving on slowly. But damn, that last scene, that last cutscene, the real cutscene in like God of War, Valhalla. Oh, spoilers by the way. This is why at the end of the video, no one's gonna hear about it. Oh, watch it. But damn, oh my God, that moment of self-talk, self-realization, meditation, whatever you want to call it, is so impactful because we've all had those words for ourselves. We've all had this talk with ourselves. We've all chastised ourselves for our past mistakes, our regrets, our grief, our bad decisions, our temper, the people we hurt. And Kratos is having that same dialogue with himself that we've all had with ourselves. This is phenomenal. This is perfect. And more important than anything else is Kratos understands the weight of his mistakes, the weight of his decisions, and he's ready to move on. Man, that's just good writing.